2NURFM's Health and Wellbeing for our sponsor Mullen Natural Health Centre, Hamilton.
And of course, being a Tuesday afternoon, it is time to talk health, and we are joined by Australia's leading naturopath, Mr. Peter Mullen, one of Australia's leading naturopath. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Colin.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
That's the way, well. keeping dry, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. Last week you said, mate, you should do a challenge, and I thought, okay, righto. I started yesterday. Of course, Shake in the Morning. I'm doing a very good program. You can check it out on our website at 2NURFM.com. Under More, then there'll be the 6-week challenge. There's a photo of me, what I'm doing, you know. So it's all happening.
Mate, it's a very brave thing of you to do that. Pardon me, to actually commit on air to a 6-week challenge. And, you know, your goal in the challenge obviously is for the 6 weeks to eat as well as you can, to exercise every day, lose body fat. And we did a test and measure at work the other day, didn't we, where you came in, we measured your body fat, muscle mass, so we can actually tell that you're losing fat and not muscle.
Yeah.
But still a very brave thing to put that out there on the radio, and we'll discuss it just briefly at the beginning of my section each week for the next 6 weeks, just to touch base and see how you're going.
Yeah, and as I said, you can check it all out on our website at 2NURFM.com. Go to the More category, 6-week challenge. I've put there a photo of me, what I, got sick of hearing, people rubbing my stomach like I'm some sort of Buddha, and using the catch lines like, I can't afford to lose weight, I've got too many clothes.
Look, it is interesting, the excuses or the stories we come up with about, why we might not start to make changes. And we were talking before the show, like I take my hat off to you because with in practice, the majority of our patients are ladies, women coming in. Women, fortunately, tend to be a lot more in tune with their health and what's going on, and they seem more motivated to be able to actually do something about it. We're seeing more and more men come into our practice, but oftentimes men will come in, and when we ask, how did you hear about us or what brings you in today, they'll say, they'll look to the left to their wife and say, she made me do it.
Yeah.
So I take my hat off to you because this is a really good challenge to show that, guys can take responsibility for their health and, actually make an effort with their meal planning and have a plan in mind and stick to it as well. So,
well, the stats are alarming. They are really bad stats,
with weight particularly.
With weight particularly, and I think males can be a little scared in a way and a little ashamed to sometimes address the problems, which I was one of them, but you've just got to say, righto, enough's enough.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. And it is male obesity or overweightness in men is actually far exceeding that of women. And they're saying now, and we've talked about this before, but they're saying that the health cost to the Australian people of obesity now has overtaken cigarette smoking.
Wow, scary.
It is scary stuff. So, mate, credit to you, and I'm looking forward to touching base with you once a week.
Well, thank you.
Doing a weigh in and a measure, and we might have those results to talk about
we will.
each week when we touch base.
We will. Beautiful. Righto, don't forget, check it out on our website at 2NURFM.com. Now, Teflon. What is Teflon?
Well, the old non-stick frying pan has been a staple in the kitchen for decades. But I thought it's worthwhile delving into today just exactly what Teflon is, how safe it is, and whether or not you should just throw away your non-stick pans.
It's quite interesting because this is quite, in a way, a harmful chemical, isn't it?
Well, there's quite a few chemicals involved. So the global chemical giant DuPont has been making Teflon since the 1930s. But in 2004, the US Environmental Protection Agency discovered a chemical used in the production of Teflon that potentially causes cancer. And this chemical is one that we're all too familiar with here in the Hunter. It's called PFOA is the abbreviation. And it's been at the centre of the contamination scare at the Williamtown RAF base and bases around the country. So FOA or PFOA is used to make compounds called fluoropolymers, which are then turned into products like Teflon. And in at the RAF base, they were using it for their water repellent, their firefighting equipment. So it acts as a water repellent, and water repellent coatings like Scotchgard, even clothing, furniture and packaged food containers all contain this PFOA.
And we're using it to cook. Oh, no. Now, Pete, should we throw it out or should we keep it? We must make clear that there is no direct evidence, though, that PFOA is harmful to any humans.
That's right, and that's been a little bit at the basis of the RAF base's response to, these spills of these chemicals that have gotten into the water table up around the RAF base at Williamtown. But it has been shown to cause cancer, such as liver damage, growth, or cancer as well as liver damage, growth defects, infertility, and some immune system damage in laboratory animals. So that's obviously always going to raise some red flags if it's something that, we're using on a regular basis. So based on this evidence, a US EPA advisory board of 17 scientists unanimously recommended PFOA be labelled as a likely carcinogen in humans. Now, the theory is that while most of the PFOA is burnt off in the manufacturing process of Teflon, there's still a risk that these pans can release a range of toxins when used at high temperatures, including other chemicals like trifluoroacetate, TFA, and also phosgene as well. Now, these chemicals, these are chemicals that, do get released definitely when you go to cook your omelette in your non-stick pan
But it's so appealing. You'll be watching TV and there'll be a commercial come on where they've got, egg and all the things that stick, and it just wipes straight out. You think, perfect.
Well, there are some other options we'll talk about in the next section. But
beautiful.
And the worst of it is if you've got Teflon pans at home and you've been using them for 10, 15, 20 years and they're looking all a bit scratchy and, worn away, they're probably going to be even worse from a releasing chemical point of view.
Yeah.
So these chemicals, the TFA and the phosgene, are known to be poisonous to birds and can even induce a Teflon-type flu in humans with symptoms of headache, chills, backaches and fever.
It's very interesting, isn't it? That we continue to use this.
Yeah, and absolutely. We talk a lot about, eating clean and buying organic when you can and having a high plant-based diet as being the ideal way for us humans to be eating. But if we're then processing or preparing the food, and we've talked before on this show about why I think that, microwaves should not be used to cook our food in, Teflon pans are definitely, second, if not equal to that list.
I've missed that, just quickly.
Why you missed the section on microwaves?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we can go over that at another time, but microwaves definitely, in my mind, shouldn't be used for cooking.
Yep.
They create products in the food called unique radiolytic products, or ERPs. So they sort of change the molecular structure and you end up with compounds that no one's ever seen before. So there's lots of not science or research behind why microwaves are bad, but definitely it's not a healthy way to cook.
You don't have a microwave?
We do have a microwave, but we mostly use it just to reheat the dog's food or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Which really we shouldn't even use it to do that. I'm not a big fan of using microwaves to reheat, or definitely not to cook with.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I'll read up more on that, mate. I like that.
Well, if you go to our website, Mullen Health, we've got a good blog on why microwaves aren't great to use.
Today, of course, we are talking about Teflon, Pete. And should we chuck these out? Well, it's a debated sort of thing, isn't it? There's not really an answer just yet. But the alternatives to Teflon.
Yeah. Look, I think, thankfully there are much safer options now available on the market. And as we were saying before, you don't want to be spending money on good quality food and then only to add in chemicals in the cooking process. So cast iron skillets, arguably one of the safest pans you can find. They're the old-fashioned pans, They don't leach any toxic chemicals into your food. The only thing it can release is iron. Stainless steel as well, still considered very safe, reasonably priced. Does need a little bit of oil to reduce sticking. And then some of the new ceramic cookware offers the non-stick properties without the peeling, flaking, or the release of the chemicals that come from the Teflon. So easy to clean, very popular at the moment, but are expensive. And then glass or stoneware. We always use glass baking trays for baking, baking a leg of lamb or baking a chicken in. Again, just got to take extra care to reduce when sticking. And really, if you're using cookware and it does stick to the bottom of the pan, like my job at home is not so much in the cooking department, but it's definitely in the washing up department. So, these sorts of pans, if you just soak them obviously and come back a couple of times and give them a go with a stainless steel cleaner, it comes off no problem. So we don't worry too much about.
So you're the dishwasher?
I'm the dishwasher.
I think,
poorly at times, but but my wife and daughter are very good in the cooking department, so I have to help out. I have to come in at the level that I'm good at, which is cleaning up.
Yeah, me too, mate. Don't worry about that. I'm the same. All right, so there you go. So if you're looking for an alternative to Teflon, cast iron, stainless steel, ceramic or glass. They're the top hits.
They're the cleaner, healthier ones to be using. And as I've said, if you're going to all that effort to have healthy food, that's the way to go.
Yeah. All right. Now, don't forget, you can send an email to the program. All you need to do is just head up to our website, 2NURFM.com. Then you will see the on-air tab. Go down to lifestyle and you'll see the program there. Pete, we've had a nice little email come in today.
Yeah, we have. We've had an email come in from one of our listeners. This person's had their gallbladder removed last June and have been having gut problems up until recently. They did try, I talked previously about slippery elm, and unfortunately that didn't work for this person. They go on to sort of mention that we did speak about how good fermented food was for the gut, and so they made their first batch of sauerkraut, and in their words, wow, what a superfood this is. Easy to make, so much tastier than any shelf-bought sauerkraut, but best of all, no longer waking up every morning around 3 a.m. with trapped gas in my upper abdomen, which was causing me so much pain. Can't thank you enough for helping me. So that's great. I love to hear stories like that, but we're happy to take questions as well.
Yep.
You know, if people feel more comfortable sending an email in, we can answer any of their questions
beautiful.
On air as well.
All right, not a problem. And you can call, of course. All right, well, thanks so much. Coming up, of course, you've got a talk happening for Kids Health on the 14th of March. And also a secret mother's business and health tips for kids on the 21st.
Yeah, look, probably it's one of my favourite areas, and one of my favourite talks of the year are our talks for kids' health. And we always have a really big turnout. Kids' health is not what it used to be. And we've started, one of my pracs, Carly, who was on the air last week, she started doing free talks for people called Secret Mother's Business Health Tips for Kids. And she's actually having her first one in our office today for an hour. So we've invited a group of young mums in, and she'll be going over, what she feeds her kids, safe and healthful natural remedies to help treat your kids, giving the power of kids and kids' health back to the parents so that they're more confident with what they're doing and why they're doing what they are. So this is another great free talk we've got. And we've got another one of those coming up. And we're also doing one talking about sauerkraut. We're doing one on gut and fermenting on the 28th of March. So fairly busy month this March.
It is very, very busy. Of course, you can book online at mullenhealth.com.au. And of course, next week you'll be back on the program. What are we talking about then? Screen time.
Screen time. Yeah.
Very interesting. Don't tell me any more. Keep me in suspense, okay?
I'll keep you in suspense, and we'll hear more about... You'll be week one into your 6-week challenge next week as well.
We will be. Righto, don't forget you can check it all out on our website at 2NURFM.com. Thanks, mate. I'll talk to you next week.
Lovely. Thanks, Colin.